Hi guys, welcome to the tutorial for the Blair boat neck top. You can find it on Etsy. I'll link it in the description below. This is a really quick, really easy sew. If you've worked with stretch fabrics before, this will be a breeze. I've probably made this shirt already like 10 to 15 times and I wear it literally like every single day. This top right here is a variation of it. I have lowered and widened the neckline quite a bit just to give it like an almost off the shoulder look. This is a really easy modification to the pattern. If you want to see that, let me know. And just a quick note, this pattern is going to require stretch fabric. I recommend using a cotton jersey or something similar just to get started, and then you can play around with different stretchy fabrics. I think that's everything I needed to say. Let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. To get started, you'll need about 1.5 yards of jersey fabric, your pattern pieces, and some basic sewing supplies. You'll cut out 4 of the main pattern piece, and then if you want to do style B with the ties, you'll cut out 4 ties. Since I'm using a rotary cutter, I wanted to point out that at this little section at the underarm, you want to be very careful, so I switched to my scissors so that I didn't cut through anything. Once all your pattern pieces are cut out, you'll have 2 sets of ties and 2 sets of the bodice pieces, a front and a back for the main and the lining. Now with the right sides facing, we're going to take 1 set of the bodice pieces and we're going to pin or clip along the armholes, the neckline, and the hem. And we'll repeat these exact steps on the other set of bodice pieces. For style B, we're going to take 1 set of our ties and we're going to pin them right sides together along all of the edges except for the curved one, which is what we'll use to turn the ties right side out. So this is what everything should look like so far. We're going to go ahead and sew along all of the edges that we pinned. The seam allowance for the entire top is going to be 1/4 inch. And while I am using my overlocker to sew the entire top, you can definitely use a domestic sewing machine, either a zigzag or a lightning stitch, and you will get essentially the same results. So don't worry about it. If you don't have a serger, you'll be just fine. As I'm finishing up this first tie, just remember that we're not sewing that curved edge, and go ahead and repeat the process on the other tie. All right, this section right here is going to be our neckline. Here I'm sewing the armholes. I like to start at the shoulder and then work my way down to the underarm because we have this slight little overhang, as you'll see in just a second here. And we want to make sure that we catch that whole entire thing, but not any of the side seam. So this is what it's going to look like. Repeat for the other armhole, and then this set is complete, and we're going to do these same exact steps on the other set of bodice pieces. All right, here's how the bodices are looking so far. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 set of them and flip them inside out. So now our main or our self is wrong side out and our lining is right side out. We're going to insert our lining into our main or self fabric, and we're going to match all of our seams so that they are sitting right sides together and nice and flush with each other. All right, here's how it's looking. We're going to go ahead and start at our shoulder seams. So again, making sure that everything is right sides together. You're going to match the seams at the armhole and the neckline. And you can see that these seams form a circle. So we're just going to pin around this circle that will create our shoulder seams. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. Now we'll come to the side seams. For style A, we're going to pin around the entire circle that makes up the side seams, both sides, and we're going to make sure that we leave about 3-inch gap on one of the side seams, on the lining of one of the side seams, and that will be what we use to turn the shirt inside out later. Now, if you're sewing style B, we're going to take our ties and we're going to turn them inside out. You can just reach your hand in here and turn it inside out. That way you don't need any special tools. And then you definitely want to poke out those little corners to make sure that you have some nice sharp edges, and then go ahead and give that a good press. To insert the ties, we have the lining side seam and we have the main side seam. I'm gonna pin up the lining side seam just to get that out of the way and so I don't get confused. So now we'll insert the tie in between the front and back of the main pieces, aligning the raw edges of the tie with our notches. So I'm just folding up the tie because it's pretty long and I don't want it to get caught up in the other side, and then place that into the seam, aligning them again with the notches. Pin or clip that in place and then repeat on the other side. Really try not to get my head in the shot as much as it is, but sometimes I fail, so I'm sorry. All right, now we're going to take the top to the machine and we're going to sew up the shoulder seams and our side seams. Again, just following along the circle, moving nice and slowly in increments so that you don't do anything too crazy, especially if you're using your serger. You might want to have the knife down. Once the shoulder seams are sewn up, you're going to do your side seams. And so on one of our side seams, we're going to leave an opening of about 3 inches on the lining side. So if you're doing style B, it's going to be the side that doesn't have the ties on it. Then when you repeat this on the other side, you can just sew all the way around the circle. Now we have reached the fun part, which is turning our piece inside out. So we're going to locate that opening that we left. If you don't have the opening, then go back and create one. And then you're just going to slowly but surely turn out your brand new top. For the finishing touches, you'll want to close off that hole with either an invisible ladder hand sewn stitch, or you can just top stitch it like I did here, and also give it a nice good press. You could also top stitch the neckline, armholes, and hem if you'd like to, but it's not necessary. And then you are all done. Here's the final top. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tag me if you make it. I'm so excited to see what you come up with.